Okay, so I guess I'm going to talk. This is the longest one I found, was this one. I don't know what that word means there. And it goes through this, down here. You see more lines around it. Okay, so you also see what appears to be right angles in this area. But I feel like this would have been underwater. But I don't know the elevation. Come back here. I find it easier to see things on the 3D actually. So we'll come out. So the concentration of lines tend to be from this long one. You see more here. Here's another really long one. And this one kind of terminates. Like these other ones out here, there's quite a lot. Have more of like your you have lines like this in other places too, but they're not like in one line. They're kind of broken up. So I feel like these lines were surveyed to go over islands. So there's another one that I find curious that follows the line between the seawall and Manhattan. So I feel like this was a sea passage right here. It goes through here, through this river, and then you go down here, and you actually can't even really see it on like a view here, but if you come in, there it is. So it disappears, see, and then it pops up, and there's a line on this one. See that line? And it veers off. It's like it goes under the sand right there. And I find that curious because it is in line. You just keep scrolling back. It's in line, and it leads you right through the passage of Manhattan and the seawall. Keep going. See that? It comes to this inlet right here, and then it kind of, there's a river, and then it comes out there, and then that's your main area where you have the big canal that runs along the seawall, and then you have like an intersection where you go into this main canal right here that you had pointed out, the straight canal, which is how I found Manhattan, because clearly to me this canal here goes from somewhere to somewhere else. Now I had started out because I saw this and I was like, okay, what's this about? But this is like plateaus and stuff. It's nothing. I thought it might be terraforming. I don't think it is now. So when I came down here, that's when I found, you said this is the highest point right here, just like in New York. That's downtown, right there on that main shoreline. Now in New York, the shores of New York are like this. They're all rocky cliffs. You come into New York, like the real New York in Manhattan, like the real Manhattan, the one I'm going to today. I'm spending the weekend in Manhattan. But it's like this, okay? And when you come, you can walk from Manhattan to the Bronx, and it's real high up, and there's like really high up bridges to just go across to the Bronx. And the main part of Manhattan, the main part of the real Manhattan, like today's Manhattan, is on the highest part of the island, which is just like that. That's why when I saw this, I couldn't see anything other than New York City. I mean, these look like streets to me. And also there's like right angles everywhere, and they're uniform grids. Uniform grids. Even like in small areas where you kind of come across like the mountains. There's one area in here which is sort of like a little suburban area. There it is. That's it. Right there. Tell me, how is that possible in real life? Look, it looks just like New York. It's got squares, and then you have a diagonal running through those squares. Just like in New York. That's what Broadway is. Broadway in New York runs through all the streets and the avenues, just like that. That's crazy to me. I think this was the port city to go into Atlantis. So you came in, and I think this was like, just as Plato described, this was a whole country. And then you got your seawall. And you have a right angle line too here. Let me see if I can go back here and look at this way. I find it harder to look at things like this because I can see them, but they're too hard to see. It's easier to look at them in 3D. And of course, I'm doing this on my phone, so. And you start here. If you go in, that's when you can see that line in the front? We got more grids right there. I don't know how big those are. But these could be settlements. This could be the fishing area. This could be an import. Like, this could be a port. You know? Look at that. Look at that. Look at those 3 lines right there with their diagonal across it. You know, so in Philadelphia, when you're down by the river, you have a large concentration of activity, like in terms of building and stuff. I mean, I suppose it's possible this is like natural, but I doubt it. It doesn't look natural to me. This looks like cities to me. Out here, this kind of looks like New Jersey to me. Like if you go to New Jersey, it's more rural. Like you're down by the beach, and this is where you get your jetties. Where these roads are, these canals. I don't know. I mean, New Jersey is all like rural when you go down south, and there are things that, like, you know, bring water. And then of course they extend. Another thing that really freaks me out is that this looks all surveyed to me. That's that one again. That's that really long one right there, because it's got this name on it. I don't know what that name is, but that's how you can find this one. And this one extends all the way out. And this one actually, maybe these are roads, because this one extends back to one of those areas with the right angles. See that? And back in the day, maybe this was like another kind of outcropping, like another little suburb, little island suburb. Right there, okay? And then they continue. It does peter out. See, when it peters out here, and I don't start to see anything, that's why I think this was underwater. This stuff was underwater. And when you're in New York City, in the United States, you have like all these little islands around it, and there ain't nothing on those islands. So I'm looking at these things, and there you go, there's some more lines there. See? What do they use these lines for? And this is going over some sort of, I can't have an elevation, I don't know what this is. Let me end this because it's not going to handle too long of a video on this screen recorder. Yeah, nothing on this one. We're going further and closer to the ocean. That one right there. Okay, so where's this go? Let's bring this back. Oh, there it is. See, they're like surveyed. Right there, bang. This is going through a valley. Okay, it goes over this plateau. I'm going to keep going. Keep going. Keep going. There it is again. See, it's there. It's very faint, but it's right there. And then it keeps going. I'm going to keep going. I don't see it anymore. I don't see it. I see other ones. I don't see that one. Okay, I'm going to end this.